So, the Horseman of Pestilence is here, and for the most part, we're just chilling inside. This means increased time watching Netflix, taking up hobbies, or if you're really weird, reading a book. But us gamers have never been stronger. I never thought I would write that line. Now we have nothing but time to play. And since I have a video editing class project to do, I thought I might share what games I've played or been playing. Without further ado, here are 6 games I've played or been playing in quarantine. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is a game set in a universe where people can choose to augment themselves with special technological upgrades. These people are often referred to as AUGs. You play as a secret government agent, Adam Jensen, as the game takes you through some rather cliche Shadow Organization conspiracy theory type thrill rides. Think Metal Gear Solid with cyborg terrorists. The game came out to pretty good reception, and I'd agree with most of the reviews. Playstyle is largely up to each player. You can choose which of Jensen's AUGs to activate, falling under the main categories of Loud and Forceful, Stealthy, and Hackerman Extraordinaire. Nothing revolutionary in the sci-fi RPG area of playstyle. One of the more notable upgrades allows you to read people's facial expressions and body language during conversation to pick dialogue options better suited to them, which proved beneficial and could gain you things for missions further down the road. I went for mostly stealth with a little bit of hacking. I avoided most fights with stealth, but any combat I came across felt fine. Anyone going for a more combat-focused playstyle will still enjoy the game. By the end of the game, I was excited about leveling up to unlock my next upgrades and become an all-powerful AUG, but the story ended earlier than I thought it would. This game is open world and offers side missions and things to do after the main story ends, but the decisions I made during the storyline left the story's ending feeling unsatisfactory. The best way I can describe it is that this game's narrative feels like a bridge between its predecessor, Human Revolution, and a setup for a future game. In summary, the gameplay is fun and kept me coming back, but the story's cliche and left me wanting more. Still, an overall good experience. 4 doses of neuropozyne out of 5. It's a reference to the game. Moving on, we have Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order. My first critique is that the title is too long. It's such a mouthful. Did you really need to include Star Wars in the name, Respawn? Or were you afraid people wouldn't know what Jedi meant? Anyway, this game takes place after the events of Episode 3, in which Order 66 has been executed and the Jedi Order is assumed extinct. We follow former Padawan Cal Kestis as he gets involved with a plan to save the Jedi Order and the universe and live happily ever after and yada yada. You get the point, it's Star Wars. Typical Star Wars plot. You fly across the universe, discovering an ancient Force-using civilization, remembering parts of your Padawan training from your childhood along the way to unlock Force powers, all the while dodging the Empire's Inquisitors who are trained to take down the Jedi. Pretty solid. Many people refer to the game as being a Souls-like, a type of gameplay popularized by the Dark Souls franchise. This type of game is characterized by melee combat, difficult fights, and a game saving only at specific checkpoints. I won't comment on the influence of that genre or how much it's broken into the mainstream, but I will say the way it's been adapted into the Star Wars universe in this specific game works. And it works well. Gameplay is tough, really tough. I really struggled in my first few hours to get combat down and not die to the weakest of enemies. However, the gameplay is tough, but rewarding. Once you start to get it down, you feel like an awesome lightsaber swinging Jedi. You learn your cool Force powers, explore the game's worlds, solve challenging puzzles, and upgrade your Force skills. The story is fun and satisfying, doing a service to Star Wars nerds. Getting started is tough, but after getting the hang of it, this is a pretty great Star Wars romp. 5 lightsabers out of 5. See, that's a game reference too, but I figured more people would get that one. Apex Legends is an online multiplayer battle royale set in the universe of Respawn's Titanfall franchise. What does all that mean? This is a game that's played entirely online with and against other people. You play in squads of 3 to compete against 19 other squads to be the last remaining. Titanfall is a game by the same developer where you fight in big giant robots. No robots in this game though. This game came out when the market was already saturated with the tired battle royale genre, but honestly, it probably does it better than any of its major competitors. This game has the smoothest movement system and best gunfighting mechanics out of any battle royale I've played. It's also pretty unique in that instead of everyone spawning in as a default character, there are different characters with different abilities that affect playstyle and how your team works together. Respawn has also released all of its new characters after the game's release for free, which is especially impressive considering the game is free to download and play. There's a lot of good stuff here for paying absolutely $0. However, that's also where I start to add my complaints. When a game is released for free, the publisher still has to make money somehow, and when the publisher is EA, this money-making scheme is only going to be bad. Apex features a lot of in-game purchases with real money, none that actually affect the game. But if you want any good cosmetics or special features or to speed up the time it takes to unlock a new character, get ready to shill out cash. My other major complaint is more with the Battle Royale genre, and less specifically with Apex. Basically, it's that you can only play and practice the game if you're good, if that makes sense. In a Battle Royale, when you or your team goes down, you lose and the game is over. You have to start a new game and start from fresh. So you either have to have a lucky start and find good loot, or already be somewhat good at the game to keep playing and not die. See what the problem is? All in all, this is a great Battle Royale game, but it's still a Battle Royale game. 3 Marvins out of 5. And we're back to specific references. The Binding of Isaac is an indie game released by Edmund McMillan, known for the action platformer Super Meat Boy. This game isn't for the faint of heart. You play as Isaac, whose mother has gone crazy with the idea that God told her she needs to kill her son, so he escapes into the basement and makes his descent from her. Since his mother is a religious nut, there's a lot of imagery and names taken from Christianity, as you can guess from the name itself. The game is a top-down roguelite shooter, which is a dumb nerd way of saying you look at the game from the top of each room as your character moves around and shoots enemies, and if you die you have to restart the whole game, and every room and every item you pick up is completely randomized each time. Playing a game of this design can be both masochistically hard and righteously rewarding. Some runs get you great items and make you really powerful, and others give you absolute garbage and unforgiving enemies. Once you really start to get into it, you realize there's a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface here for a seemingly simple game. Once you learn the game's mechanics and get a taste of its sweeter side, you keep coming back. There's also a great sense of reward to beating the bosses and completing the challenges. That's what's kept me coming back and racking up an unholy 218 hours on Steam. Don't worry, not all that time is from quarantine. This game has wonderful highs and frustrating lows that might keep you away for a while. The art style is unique, and to this day there's nothing else I've played quite like it. 4 Bibles out of 5, because sometimes the game can just be so terribly awful, but mostly it's good. Last but not least, we have Overwatch. I've been playing this game on and off since its release in 2016. It's got a special place in my heart, and it's honestly probably on my list of favorite games of all time. Overwatch was made by Blizzard Entertainment, known for massive franchises like World of Warcraft, Diablo, and StarCraft. They branched out a little here and made this game described as a hero shooter. This game is a first-person shooter played online against other teams in teams of 6, with different roles on each team: tank, damage dealer, and healer. The hero you choose to play matters a lot, because each hero has their own abilities. Team composition is important, so picking heroes that synergize together is vital, and picking heroes to adapt to a fight can win or lose games. Each game consists of fighting for an objective or pushing a payload. Many more minigame type modes have been added over the years, but I feel like the game works best in its first core modes. The span of heroes to choose from is impressive, and it's where the game's variety is found. Unlike Apex Legends, this game is not free, but like Apex Legends, even though Overwatch came out way before Apex, Blizzard has released all of its additional heroes for free. The additions have only made the game better as well. Some will disagree with me on that point. Blizzard has really tempered with the game a lot, making frequent changes to heroes that have really shifted the balance of the game. Some people think this has fundamentally changed the gameplay, but I've always enjoyed the gameplay and probably always will. Another similarity of this game to Apex Legends is its issue. They really want to squeeze money out of you. Like Apex, if you want any cool skins or cosmetics, you have to pay real-world money for them. Except in this game, you can't just directly buy what you want. You have to buy a loot box, which is a randomized box of loot you open, and you have to hope what you want is in there. All of this is made worse by the fact that you just paid real world money to own the game. So, overall, really fun gameplay that I've stuck by since day one, but has greedy corporate fingerprints all over it. 4 loot boxes out of 5. So, there you have it. These are the video games I have been occupying myself with since the government has made going outside illegal. If you play video games, what did you think? Agree or disagree? Have any recommendations based off these games? If you don't play video games, thanks for watching, I guess. I put a lot of work into this video, so I hope it's enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of your isolation from society.